Hi everyone. The purpose of this presentation is to dive into what Stephen Krashen's affective filter hypothesis is and what effects the affective filter hypothesis can have on one's second language acquisition. So in this visual here, I just have kind of a little rundown of what the affective filter hypothesis is, which is when a learner is experiencing high anxiety, low self-esteem, or low motivation. It can kind of cause a mental block, and they will not allow themselves to receive input like we know that one needs when they're acquiring a second language. So we know how important that input is, the meaningful input to acquisition. And so if one's affective filter is very high and they have a block there, then this is really going to hinder their acquisition. We cannot say that if one has a high affective filter that there's no way they're going to learn a second language, but we do know that the affective filter is very, very important in that. So it won't make or break the learner's acquisition. We can't say that it will do that, but we do know that it will influence them greatly. So in my research, I found that the affective filter is made up of many different factors, and these include attitude, motivation, anxiety, and one's self-confidence. So in my findings, I found that I researched two studies. One of the studies were over international and domestic students in Turkey, and it was comparing their affective filters and how they coped with those different factors in speaking English. So in the study, there was little discrepancy in the two groups when it came to their attitudes and motivation toward learning the target language. Both groups said that they saw great value in learning English, which was the target language, and that they thought it would help them in maybe their studies or just communication overall, or providing them more opportunities in life, or in their career choices, and helping them to expand in their careers or grow in their careers by knowing this target language of English. The international students did report feeling more confident and successful in their English speaking, and they were more apt to participate in on-the-spot discussion than the domestic students, who reported feeling a lot of anxiety and very nervous and scared to speak, especially when they were put on the spot and they weren't given time to prepare or to come up with what they were going to say. So this had a lot of effect. And then another study that I researched was the influence of movies or activities outside of the classroom that could lower the affective filter by boosting student confidence. And this study was done in Korea, and in the study we saw that many students, their affective filter was lowered because they reported that watching movies and listening to music or making posts on Facebook or doing things like this helped them gain confidence in their writing and speaking. So through this, we learn just how much influence the affective filter can have on an acquirer. And we also saw this in our assignment where we learned about Nora and the other 5 students who were studied, where Nora exceeded past the other students, and she really had advanced in her language acquisition and this was because of her affective filter. She made friends and communicated with students speaking the target language. She got a lot of input from native speakers, and she was comfortable in that she would try to produce the language, and she just had learned a lot from the people around her. So this is kind of opposite of Juan in that study, whereas he kind of wanted to stay in his own bubble, had a high affective filter, and did not really communicate or interact with English speakers. He wanted to just talk with or communicate with the students that were bilingual and he could talk to in Spanish, in his own language. So some implications from this are just how important it is when teaching students a second language, or when they're acquiring a second language, how effective their all of these factors can be in their level of acquisition. So it's important as teachers to keep in mind one's affective filter, and to do things or to consider doing things that you can to lower that person's affective filter, or make them feel comfortable, because we know that this is going to really help improve their acquisition. Thank you.